Hi guys, I'm your host, Tyler Davis, the Masturbator Channel. So, today I'm going to be talking about my favorite spring smallmouth fish and lures. Anyway, I'm going to give you the 5 that I like to use, tell you how I fish them a little bit, and let you guys know what I use. I'm not saying that this is what everyone should go out and use, or this is what's going to catch them, or this or that. I'm just saying what I use in my area. Hopefully it'll help you guys out in your guys' fields. So, what is my top bait of choice? And this isn't just a bait I use in the spring, this is a bait I use all the time. And it is a tube. Tube is one of my favorite bass fishing baits. And if you guys don't know what a tube is, it's a squid looking thing right here, as you guys can see. So basically, what does this imitate? It imitates a crawdad, is what it imitates. A little crawfish. You get it down on the rocks and you wiggle it real slow, and these come up and flow around. But so in the spring, you just bring them in. You grab your pole here, bring it in. You just easily reel in on it. Sometimes you're going like this. Sometimes you can just get in a spot where there's a little bit of current to make these move, and you just let it sit. Reel in, let it sit, reel, let it sit. And just those cold water bites are what are the hardest to pick up and figure out, because you got to be right on the fish's head, you have to be on what they want, and you have to be feeling for any little thing. So those fish will take it so light and they'll just be gone like that. There's no second chance at that fish. And I'm not saying for sure there's no second chance. Just with how cold it is, it's going to be hard for that fish to want to pick another bait up, especially if it gets pricked a little. My favorite colors to use are green pumpkin with black flake. I like watermelon with red flake, and black with a blue flake. Those are the 3 colors I like, and there's reason. Normal water around here I can see in the spring 3 to 4 foot. It's pretty average, and I mean on the smaller rivers where a lot of water pumps through and there's a lot of mud, it gets really thick and nasty, and that's where I'll use that black with the blue flake, and just to try to get that color. I also like to have a backup rod with a light brown color, natural, or a smoke with purple flake. And that is just to have a backup rod. A lot of fish get stacked and you start catching them on one color. I've noticed in the spring, you'll start catching them and they'll start to slow down. Set that rod down, you pick up the other one, cast it out there, just to get a little bit different but close color. Like if I'm using that black with the blue flake and I reel it in, set it down, cast out that smoke with the purple, boom, start smashing them again. You can switch between those two and catch a whole bunch of fish out of one hole. Am I saying it's going to work every time? No, I just have luck doing it. Anyway, so and also another little trick is I like to take Nightcrawler and put it on the back of the hook. I use 2 different sizes of weights when I do it, but these are the hooks, weighted heads with the hooks that I would use. One is a 1/4 ounce, one is an 1/8 ounce. More slack water, I'm going to use that 1/8 ounce. Something that has a little more current, I'm going to use that 1/4 ounce. And it also depends on depth and how far out I'm casting, so on. Because I don't fish off a boat, I fish off the bank, as a lot of people do. And you go to look for how to fish for this fish, that fish, and this fish, and they'll show you how to do it off a boat, no problem. Doing it off a bank is another problem, because I think everyone should know how to find the fish they want to find from the bank, and be able to look up something on it. And I mean, I'm just here to try to help out everyone that I can. Now, I'm not saying that smallmouth is a hard one to target at all. But if you've never fished for them, you might have trouble catching them, especially in the spring when they're touchy about what they eat. Next thing I use is this grub with the skirt on the top. Works good. It's just like a jig. Little finesse jig. I use them about a little smaller than this. Two, that would be my number 3. So I like to use natural colors, greens, browns with the jigs. I actually have the grubs that I put on the backs of my jigs right here, and they are hand poured. That's why they're in this bag. But they are smoke with a copper and black flake in it, and just a real stretchy material so that it doesn't rip when fish bumps on that tail, or rip as often as they still rip. You have a good fish will pop while it has a hold of that tail in the mouth, then your tail's gone. So those are 3 of them. My next one would be a lipless crankbait. And the reason for it being that you can get down, it makes noise, and you can get it right in their face and try to piss them off. Especially when you're fishing around rock and stuff, you get it down on those rocks and just jig it real nice and slow. Especially with it being colder, you're going to have trouble. Because I went and checked the water temp today, and it was at a whopping 39.2 degrees Fahrenheit. And fish are still not ready to just run out and grab anything at that temperature. So, I mean, as you can tell, not the greatest time to just be whipping things through and trying to catch them. So, what else would I use? Basically, my last one would be a grub. Just as simple as can be, a grub. And a lot of people go, well, a lot of people just throw a curl tail on and catch fish. But why would I pick a grub? Like I said with the tubes, I like to tip just a little piece of night crawler on them. Gives it a little bit of scent, makes it do that. I do the same with these and use just a weighted head. And you fish them real slow, bumping around, make them look like a wounded fish. It's all cold. And you won't believe how often fish will come in and just whomp on that. I mean, it's as simple as it gets. If I was to set up a kid to go fishing, younger kid, I would definitely probably tie on a grub for him. I'm not even kidding. That's one of the first soft plastic, I believe it was the first soft plastic I caught a smallmouth on, was a grub. And they are very important to learn how to use. I mean, you can use them as a trailer on a jig, trailer for spinner baits, that if you don't want to go spend the money on. And I mean, I sit there and catch fish on them. They're not a hard thing to learn at all. But those are the 5 baits that I've chosen, that I would choose to go fish with in the spring and do that. Just to stick with the tackle, light rods. Light rods are my best friend in the spring. This one is rated for 4 to 8 pound test. Got a real light tip up there. And I have it rigged up 8 pound test. But I mean, when that soft bite picks up, perfect. Anyway, Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. And don't forget to comment. Almost forgot to say that. Goodbye.